Pay attention to the woman in the gray sweater and black leggings. Her name is Danielle Foster. It's 9:47 p.m. on Thursday, October 12th. She's taking out the trash. A completely ordinary task. Something she's done 1,000 times before. Now, pay attention to the man standing near the dumpster area. He appears to be checking his phone. He doesn't look at her. Not once. Within 2 hours, Danielle's phone would be turned off forever. This was not a chance encounter. It was a trap. Danielle Foster was 29 years old. She worked as a pediatric nurse at Columbus Children's Hospital. Her co-workers described her as the person who always volunteered for extra shifts, who remembered every child's name, who brought homemade cookies to the break room. She lived alone in apartment 2B of the Riverside Gardens complex in Columbus, Ohio. She'd moved in 14 months earlier after ending a 3-year relationship. Friends said she was rebuilding, focusing on herself, taking evening classes toward her nurse practitioner certification. Her Instagram was sparse but thoughtful. Photos of hiking trails, coffee shop study sessions, screenshots of anatomy diagrams with handwritten notes. The last post was from October 11th. A sunset photo from her apartment balcony with the caption, "Small moments." She was careful. She locked her doors. She didn't walk alone at night. She varied her routines. On October 12th, she attended a 12-hour shift at the hospital. She clocked out at 8:30 p.m. She stopped at a grocery store on her way home. Security footage shows her purchasing milk, bread, and a rotisserie chicken. She paid with her debit card at 9:02 p.m. She arrived home at 9:23 p.m. She carried 2 bags of groceries up the exterior stairs to her second-floor apartment. She unlocked her door. She went inside. At 9:47 p.m., she re-emerged carrying a white trash bag. It was the last time anyone would see her in public. Riverside Gardens had minimal security. No cameras inside the buildings. No cameras in the stairwells. But Mrs. Patricia Vaughn in apartment 1C had installed a Ring doorbell camera 6 months earlier after a package theft. The camera faced the parking lot. It captured a slice of the dumpster area at the edge of its field of view. At 9:47 p.m., the motion sensor activated. Danielle Foster appeared on screen. She walked toward the dumpsters with her trash bag. Her movements were relaxed, unhurried. A man stood approximately 15 feet from the dumpsters. He was black, medium build, wearing a dark jacket and baseball cap. He appeared to be looking at his phone. Danielle reached the dumpster. She lifted the lid. She deposited her trash bag. The man moved closer. What happened next occurred in the corner of the frame. The angle was poor. The lighting was worse. But the timestamps told the story. 9 hours, 47 minutes, and 43 seconds p.m. Danielle closed the dumpster lid. 9 hours, 47 minutes, and 51 seconds p.m. The man approached her. 9 hours, 48 minutes, and 6 seconds p.m. Both figures moved out of frame toward the back of the complex. 9 hours, 48 minutes, and 19 seconds p.m. The camera captured nothing. Just an empty parking lot. Danielle Foster did not return to her apartment that night. Friday morning, October 13th, Danielle was scheduled for a 7 a.m. shift. She didn't show up. She didn't call. Her phone went straight to voicemail. Her charge nurse, Sandra Kim, tried calling 4 times. No answer. This was not like Danielle, not even remotely. By 8:30 a.m., Sandra called Danielle's emergency contact, her older sister, Monica Foster Liu. Monica worked as an accountant in Cleveland, 90 miles north. She immediately tried calling Danielle. Voicemail. She tried texting. No response. She called the hospital back. Had there been an accident? A family emergency? No one knew anything. Monica called the Columbus Police Department at 9:15 a.m. She explained that her sister had missed work without notice, that she wasn't answering her phone, that this was completely out of character. The dispatcher was polite but firm. Adults have the right to disappear. 24 hours hadn't passed. There was no evidence of foul play. Monica drove to Columbus. She arrived at Riverside Gardens at 11:40 a.m. Danielle's car was in its assigned spot. a white 2019 Honda Civic. Monica peered through the windows. Nothing appeared disturbed. A reusable shopping bag sat in the passenger seat. Monica went to apartment 2B. She knocked. No answer. She pounded on the door. Nothing. The building manager, Frank Delgado, agreed to open the apartment. Everything was normal. Too normal. The groceries Danielle had purchased the night before sat on the kitchen counter. The milk was still cold. The chicken was untouched. Her purse was on the counter. Her wallet was inside. Her driver's license. Her credit cards. $43 in cash. Her keys were missing. Her phone was missing. Her laptop was open on the coffee table, still logged into her nursing school portal. The bed was made. The bathroom was clean. Nothing appeared disturbed. It was as if she had stepped out for 5 minutes and simply never came back. Monica called the police again. This time, they listened. Detective Raymond Martinez arrived at Riverside Gardens at 2:15 p.m. He was 47 years old, 22 years with Columbus PD, assigned to the Major Crimes Unit. He interviewed the building manager. No complaints. No issues with Danielle. Quiet tenant who paid rent on time. He interviewed neighbors. Most barely knew her. She worked long hours, kept to herself, always pleasant when you passed her in the parking lot. Mrs. Patricia Vaughn mentioned her Ring camera. Martinez reviewed the footage. He watched Danielle take out the trash. He watched the man near the dumpsters. He watched both figures disappear off screen. He requested the full video file. The camera had been recording continuously since 6 p.m. that evening. At 8:52 p.m., nearly an hour before Danielle came outside, the same man appeared in the parking lot. He walked slowly. He appeared to be examining cars. He lingered near the dumpster area for 4 minutes. Then he walked out of frame toward the back of the complex. At 9:11 p.m., he returned. He stood near the dumpsters. He looked at his phone. He waited. At 9:47 p.m., Danielle emerged. Martinez played the footage again, and again. The man never looked directly at Danielle, but his positioning wasn't random. He was close enough to intercept, far enough to seem uninvolved. This wasn't opportunistic. This was patient. By Friday evening, Detective Martinez had reclassified the case. Danielle Foster was not missing voluntarily. She was the victim of a suspected abduction. The clock was ticking. Saturday, October 14th. Danielle had been missing for 36 hours. The Columbus Police Department's Digital Forensics Unit pulled records for Danielle's phone. The last activity was at 9:46 p.m. on Thursday, exactly 1 minute before she appeared on camera taking out the trash. At 10:08 p.m., the phone was powered off. The last cell tower ping placed it near Interstate 71, approximately 8 miles south of Riverside Gardens. After that, nothing. Her laptop revealed no concerning communications. Her email was mundane hospital memos, school assignments, promotional newsletters. Her browsing history showed nursing journals, online textbooks, and searches for hiking trails. Her social media accounts showed no suspicious followers, no threatening messages, no unusual interactions. Detectives interviewed her ex-boyfriend, Marcus Reynolds. He had a solid alibi. He was in Cincinnati for a work conference. Hotel records and co-workers confirmed his presence. Her co-workers described no concerning patients or family members. No one who had made threats or seemed overly interested in her. Danielle Foster had no enemies, no stalkers, no dangerous ex-relationships. She was a careful, cautious person who had vanished while performing the most routine task imaginable. Martinez's team interviewed every resident of Riverside Gardens. Most had seen nothing, heard nothing. Then they spoke with Daniel Chen, a college student in apartment 3F. Chen had been studying on his balcony Thursday night around 9:45 p.m. He'd heard voices from the dumpster area below. A woman's voice calm but questioning. A man's voice low, indistinct. Then he heard what sounded like a car door closing. Not slamming, just a normal close. He hadn't thought anything of it at the time. People came and went all evening. Martinez pressed for details. What kind of car? Chen couldn't say for certain. He hadn't been paying attention. But maybe an SUV? Something larger than a sedan? Had he seen the vehicle leave? No. He'd gone back to studying. The detail was thin, but it was something. By Sunday morning, the story had hit local news. Nurse missing after taking out trash. The Ring camera footage aired repeatedly the grainy image of Danielle at the dumpster, the shadowy figure nearby. The Columbus Police Department set up a dedicated tip line. Calls flooded in. Most were well-meaning but useless. Claimed sightings from all over the city. Theories about human trafficking. Speculation about serial killers. Search and rescue teams scoured the wooded areas near Interstate 71 where Danielle's phone last pinged. 9 units, found nothing. Divers checked retention ponds and creeks. Nothing. Highway Patrol reviewed traffic cameras along I-71. The image quality was poor. Dozens of dark SUVs passed through the area between 10 and 11 p.m. on Thursday. None could be definitively identified. The investigation was expanding, but it wasn't progressing. Monica Foster Liu appeared at a press conference on Monday, October 16th. She stood beside Detective Martinez. Her voice was steady, but her hands shook. She described Danielle as dedicated, kind, someone who devoted her life to helping children. She held up a photo Danielle in her nursing scrubs, smiling at the camera. She begged anyone with information to come forward. The phone lines lit up again. Still nothing concrete. On Tuesday, October 17th, 5 days after Danielle vanished, a woman named Keisha Barnett called the tip line. She lived in the Maple Grove Apartments, 3 miles from Riverside Gardens. On Thursday night, around 10:30 p.m., she'd been walking her dog. She saw a man loading something into the back of a dark blue Ford Explorer in the parking lot of a closed furniture store. The way he moved struck her as odd, urgent but trying to appear casual, like he was late for something but didn't want to draw attention. She hadn't thought much of it at the time, but after seeing the news coverage, something about it nagged at her. Detective Martinez drove to the furniture store. It had closed for business 3 months earlier. The parking lot was empty, except for occasional overnight use by semi-trucks. The location was less than a mile from where Danielle's phone last pinged. Martinez pulled surveillance footage from nearby businesses. A gas station across the street had cameras covering part of the furniture store lot. At 10:27 p.m. on Thursday, October 12th, a dark blue Ford Explorer entered the lot. The vehicle parked in the far corner, away from the streetlights. At 10:42 p.m., the Explorer left. Enhancement of the footage revealed a partial plate, ending in J7-1. It wasn't much, but it was the first real lead. The Ohio DMV database contained 847 vehicles matching the description dark blue Ford Explorer with plates ending in J7. Martinez's team began the tedious process of elimination. They cross-referenced addresses, criminal histories, employment records. One name stood out: Isaiah Okonkwo. He was 36 years old. Nigerian immigrant, lived in Whitehall, a suburb southeast of Columbus. He drove a 2016 Ford Explorer, license plate BKW 3J7, dark blue. He worked as a maintenance technician at a hospital system, not Danielle's hospital, a different facility on the opposite side of the city. He had no criminal record, not even a traffic ticket, but his address was 2.4 miles from Riverside Gardens. The furniture store was directly on the route between his home and the apartments. On Wednesday, October 18th, Martinez obtained a warrant to examine Okonkwo's vehicle and residence. The search was executed at 6 a.m. Isaiah Okonkwo answered the door in sweatpants and a t-shirt. He appeared confused, cooperative. Officers escorted him outside while the search team entered. The Explorer was parked in the driveway. Forensic technicians immediately identified cleaning supplies in the rear cargo area: bleach, industrial-strength disinfectant, rubber gloves. In the rear cargo compartment, luminol testing revealed trace amounts of blood. The pattern suggested an attempt at cleanup. Inside the house, officers found more. In the basement, zip ties, duct tape, a package of heavy-duty trash bags. In a bedroom closet, a shoebox containing jewelry, a silver bracelet with a small heart charm, a pair of small pearl earrings, a delicate gold necklace with a D pendant. Monica Foster Liu would later identify the necklace. Danielle had worn it every day. It had been a gift from their mother before she died. In the garage, officers found Danielle's keys, her apartment key, her car key, her mailbox key. They did not find Danielle. Isaiah Okonkwo was arrested at 7:42 a.m. on October 18th. He was read his Miranda rights. He requested an attorney. The interrogation began at 2 p.m. His lawyer, David Brennan, sat beside him. Detective Martinez presented the evidence methodically: the Ring camera footage, the gas station surveillance, the blood in the vehicle, the jewelry, the keys. Okonkwo said nothing. Martinez described Danielle, her work at the Children's Hospital, her dedication to her patients, her plans to become a nurse practitioner, her sister who was desperate to find her. Okonkwo stared at the table. Martinez leaned forward. "Where is she?" Okonkwo's lawyer intervened. His client would not be answering questions without a formal agreement. The interrogation lasted 6 hours. Okonkwo spoke a total of 9 words. "I want to talk to my lawyer." He was charged with kidnapping, felonious assault, and tampering with evidence. But without Danielle, without a body, the case was circumstantial. Strong, but circumstantial. Martinez needed to find her. Using cell phone records and GPS data from Okonkwo's vehicle, investigators mapped his movements on October 12th. He'd left his house at 8:34 p.m. He drove to Riverside Gardens, arriving at 8:48 p.m. His vehicle remained in the area until 9:51 p.m. Then he drove south on I-71. At 10:14 p.m., his vehicle exited at Route 665, a rural 2-lane highway leading into farmland and forests. Between 10:14 p.m. and 11:47 p.m., his phone pinged off 2 different cell towers in the area. The triangulation suggested he was somewhere in a 4-square-mile radius of undeveloped land. On Thursday, October 19th, search teams descended on the area. 50 officers, K-9 units, helicopters with thermal imaging. The terrain was difficult. Dense woods, creek beds, abandoned farm structures. At 3:17 p.m., a search dog alerted near a collapsed barn approximately 3 miles from Route 665. Inside the barn, investigators found disturbed earth. Fresh digging. They began to excavate. At 4:52 p.m., they found her. Danielle Foster was found buried in a shallow grave beneath rotted floorboards of the abandoned barn. She was wrapped in black plastic trash bags, secured with duct tape. The medical examiner arrived on scene. Preliminary examination confirmed identity through the D necklace and dental records. Cause of death: asphyxiation. Estimated between 10 p.m. and midnight on October 12th. She had been alive when she was taken to the barn. Injuries indicated a struggle. Bruising on her wrists, consistent with restraints. Defensive wounds on her hands. She fought. It wasn't enough. Detective Martinez called Monica Foster Liu at 6:40 p.m. He delivered the news he'd been dreading. Monica didn't scream. She didn't cry. She simply said, "Thank you for finding her." The search was over. Forensic examination of Isaiah Okonkwo's digital devices revealed a disturbing pattern. His computer contained folders of screenshots from social media. Young women, all between the ages of 25 and 35, all living alone in the Columbus metro area. Danielle Foster's Instagram profile had been bookmarked. Screenshots of her posts dated back 6 months. Her grocery store was bookmarked on Google Maps. Her apartment complex address was saved. He'd been watching her. Further examination revealed searches. How long before missing person becomes suspicious? Police investigation timeline. Luminol detection methods. He'd been planning. Detectives re-interviewed residents of Riverside Gardens with new questions. Had anyone seen a dark blue Explorer in the parking lot before October 12th? 3 residents confirmed yes. They'd seen it multiple times over the past several months. Always in the evening. Always parked near the dumpster area. Okonkwo worked second shift at his hospital, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. The timing matched. He'd been stalking Danielle for months, waiting, learning her patterns, waiting for the perfect moment. October 12th, she took out the trash at 9:47 p.m. He was ready. Isaiah Okonkwo was indicted on November 2nd on charges of aggravated murder, kidnapping, and abuse of a corpse. His defense team argued for a plea deal. They cited his lack of criminal history. They pointed to mental health struggles, depression, anxiety, cultural isolation as an immigrant. The prosecution refused. The trial began on March 14th. It lasted 3 weeks. The evidence was overwhelming. The surveillance footage, the forensic evidence from his vehicle and home, the GPS data, the digital history showing premeditation. The defense attempted to argue that the death was unintentional, that Okonkwo had panicked, that he'd restrained Danielle but hadn't intended to kill her. The prosecution countered with the zip ties, the duct tape, the isolated location. This was planned. This was deliberate. On cross-examination, forensic psychologist Dr. Helen Yamamoto testified about Okonkwo's mental state. He showed signs of antisocial personality traits, limited empathy, obsessive patterns, but he was not legally insane. He knew what he was doing was wrong. He'd taken extensive steps to avoid detection. Danielle's co-workers testified about her character, her dedication, her kindness, her dreams of advancing her career and helping more children. Monica Foster Liu took the stand on the 15th day of trial. She described receiving the call from Detective Martinez. She described identifying Danielle's necklace. She described burying her sister. The courtroom was silent. The defense rested without calling Okonkwo to testify. Closing arguments were presented on April 5th. Assistant District Attorney William Thornton was direct. This was not a moment of passion. This was a calculated hunt. Isaiah Okonkwo selected his victim. He watched her. He waited. When the moment came, he took her life. The jury deliberated for 11 hours. On April 7th, they returned a verdict. Guilty on all counts. Isaiah Okonkwo was sentenced on May 19th. Life in prison, without the possibility of parole. Judge Patricia Drummond addressed him directly before pronouncing sentence. She spoke of Danielle Foster's dedication to healing children. She spoke of the family's devastating loss. She spoke of the community's shattered sense of safety. She noted that Okonkwo had shown no remorse, no explanation, no acknowledgement of his actions. She imposed the maximum sentence allowed by law. Okonkwo was escorted from the courtroom. He did not look back. Monica Foster Liu established the Danielle Foster Memorial Scholarship for nursing students at Ohio State University. It provides full tuition for one student annually who demonstrates dedication to pediatric care. The first recipient was awarded in fall of the following year. Riverside Gardens installed comprehensive security cameras, covering all parking lots, dumpster areas, and building entrances. The changes were completed within 6 months of Danielle's death. The Columbus Police Department revised its missing persons protocol. Adults who miss work without notice and fail to make contact are now prioritized for immediate investigation, even before 24 hours have passed. The policy is informally known as Danielle's Law. Detective Martinez retired in 2024. He kept a photo of Danielle Foster on his desk until his last day. He told colleagues he would never forget the case, never forget her. Danielle Foster's locker at Columbus Children's Hospital remains as she left it. The hospital offered to clean it out. Monica Foster Liu asked them to leave it. Inside, a spare pair of scrubs, a coffee mug with a cartoon stethoscope, a photo of Danielle and Monica at the beach, both smiling, sun in their faces. The locker has a small plaque now. In memory of Danielle Foster, RN. She showed up for our children. She will not be forgotten. Every year on October 12th, the hospital staff places flowers beneath the plaque. Roses. Danielle's favorite. She was taking out the trash. The most ordinary moment. It cost her everything, but she is remembered. Her name is spoken. Her work continues in the nurses she inspired, and the children they heal. That matters. It has to.